Welcome to My Zone Online School. My name is Teacher Mutsa. Get your education booklet in our daily newspaper, street sales, or at your school every Monday to Thursday for pre-primary up until grade 3. The lessons are for listening or watching online. Inside the newspapers, there is an insert of the lesson booklet. Please cut the top of the lesson booklet with a pair of scissors and fold it for ready to use. But there is more. We are also available on our online platforms, MyZone and Zoshi Facebook pages, and in addition, our website, Zoshi Online.
Good day, boys and girls. Welcome to My Zone Online School. I am Teacher Hartung, and our theme this week is saving water and changes in the sky. Now, boys and girls, before we start our lesson, we need to sanitize. Now remember everyone, if you don't have any sanitizer, you can wash your hands with soap and water, and it will clean your hands just as well. Now, boys and girls, let's see what today's lesson will be about. Today we will do subject, verb, grouping and rounding off. Let's start this part of our lesson on page 26. And here today we will do the subject verb. For number 1 it says, choose and write the correct verb to complete the sentences. Now let's quickly have a look at the example. It says here, the cat walks. And right next to your sentence you will see 2 words in brackets. Now these are the words that we have to choose to complete the sentence. Now remember everyone, when it says the cat walks, it is only one cat, and that means that this is a singular verb, and that is why we say the cat walks. So in this case, walk will get an S at the end. Now let's quickly have a look at A. Now A reads, the mouse, blank space, cheese. And then at the end of the sentence in brackets, you have 2 words, like and likes. Now which word do you think we have to fill in the missing space? Now if you said likes, boys and girls, then you are absolutely correct. We will say the mouse likes cheese. I wrote the sentence on the board, so here you will see we will use the word likes. Why? Because we only talk about one mouse, and that, like we said earlier, is a singular verb, and when we talk about one item, in this case one mouse, we say likes with the S at the end. All right, so you will see with all the other sentences, you must choose between the 2 words in brackets at the end of your sentence. So carefully read through your sentences, and then you must try and see which word fits best. Now before I leave you to complete your sentences, let's quickly have a look at number 2. Now at number 2 it reads, it says here that you have to write your own sentences with the words. The words are brushes, cook and sings. Now let's quickly try A. That is the word brushes. Now on the board, I wrote a sentence, and now you also have to try and make your own sentence. But let's quickly read mine. It says here, I have a lot of brushes for my hair. Okay, remember the word was brushes that you need to make another sentence with. Now remember everyone, when you write sentences, always start your sentence with a capital letter and always end your sentence with a full stop. All right, boys and girls, I'm going to leave you to finish your activities. Have fun, everyone. I will see you after the break.
Follow us on MyZone Facebook Active Kids to watch your daily lesson and other fun activities with Zoe and Zoshi.
Let's start this part of our lesson on page 27. Now here on page 27, we are doing grouping. Now here it says for number 1, group the following shapes for each set. Now there you will see an example was done for you. Now let's quickly look at the example. Now there it says here we have groups of 2. Now can you see in the little rectangular block, there you have circles. And there, these circles are grouped into 2 circles per group. And that is why we now say these are groups of 2. Now, if you count all the groups, you will then get 5 groups. And that is why our sum will now say 5 times 2. Because remember everyone, we have 5 groups of 2. So we say 5 times 2. And the answer for that sum is 10. Now boys and girls, if you go ahead and you count all the little circles, then you will see that it also adds up to 10. And then it says in the little sentence, there are 5 groups of 2. Now you will see in the rest of the groups, you have to also write down the sum, and then you have to tell us how many groups there are. Now the first one says, or the first sum, it says they make groups of 3. And then in your little rectangular block, you will see there you have stars. Now if you add up all the stars, you will see that you have 15 stars. Now you have to now take all these stars and you have to make groups of 3. Now on the board, I copied this example. So I want us to quickly have a look. So you will see here, I already made groups of 3 stars. So here we have 1, 2, 3 in one group. Here we also have 3 in a group, 3 there, 3, and another pair of 3, or another group of 3 actually. Okay. Now everyone, we must count how many groups we have. Will you count with me? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 groups of 3. So now we have the sum here, 5 groups times 3 stars per group, and that is equal to 15. And like I said earlier, boys and girls, if we go ahead and we count all the stars, we will get 15 stars. And then if we have to go ahead to complete the sentence, it will say there are 5 groups of 3. Okay. Now boys and girls, you have to go ahead and group all the other shapes and see how many groups you can make. Now before you continue with that, let's quickly have a look at number 2. Now on number 2, or at number 2 there, it says you have to write the multiplication sentence for each group. Now the example shows us what we have to do again. Now there it says 5 groups of 2. Now that just means we have to write the sum, which is 5 times 2. Now for number A, there you will see it says 7 groups of 3. Now when we have 7 groups of 3, then it means you just have to write down the sum, which in this case will be 7 times 3. Now boys and girls, I want you to try and do all of these multiplication sentences on your own. But before you do that, let's quickly see what we have to do on page 28. Now here we have to do some rounding off. For number 1, it says we have to round off to the nearest 10. And then you will see you have to write your answers in the stars. Now boys and girls, we know that if we round off to the nearest 10, we have to look at our numbers. Now on the board, I wrote 23 and 85. So let's quickly try and round off these numbers to see how we have to do it. So number A says 23. Remember, we're rounding off to the nearest 10. So that means we have to look at our units. Now if our units are less than 4, then it means our number will be 20 because we are rounding off to the nearest 10. But if our units are more than 4, you can see here I wrote it down, and this is 5. Our units for 85 is 5. And if we have to round up to the nearest 10, when our units is more than 4, then it changes our tens to the next 10. Right, and in this case 85 will now turn into 90 because boys and girls, remember 5 is more than 4. All right. Now for number 2, there it says that we have to match the numbers in the sun with the numbers in the table. Now you have to also round off here. Let's quickly go to the page and read the instruction. Now here it says, draw a line to match each number to its nearest 10. Now there you will see little pictures of a sun, and inside the sun you have your number, which you have to match to its number nearest to 10 in the table. Now on the board I put 2 examples down for you. So here you will see the number 19. If we have to round off the number 19 to the nearest 10, remember units more than 4, so it turns to the number 20. And now you have to go and draw a line from your number to the answer of the answer to when you write it, round it off to the nearest 10, which is 20 here. And the other example is 11. Now you see here, our units here is 1. And 1 is less than 4, which means it will now be 10. All right. And then once you have found the answer, then you must draw a line to match each number. Now everyone, I want you to try and match all these numbers on your own now, and don't forget to also finish the rounding off activity at number 1. So I'm going to leave you to finish, so we'll see you after this ad break.
Do you have children in the age range of 5 to 6 years and want to participate in our school booklet program? Please contact us on 081 74 3759 and we will put you on our distribution list for the attention of pre-primary schools. Topics include family, summer, culture, traditions and houses, transport and communications, occupations, autumn and more. We distribute countrywide in over 10 different languages.
We came to the end of our lesson today, boys and girls. Now, before we say goodbye, we need to sanitize. Now remember everyone, We put sanitizer on our hands to keep our hands nice and clean and all the nasty germs away. Now before we go, I've invited my friend Zoshi to come along and say goodbye with me. Do you want to see Zoshi? Let's call Zoshi together. Zoshi! Oh, hello Zoshi! Welcome! Will you say goodbye to our friends with me today? Now, boys and girls, we are going to leave you and we are quickly going to go play in the park. So, we'll see you next time. Goodbye!
Our online school will help you along the way. Find us at www.zoshi.online and download the booklet. Follow us on Facebook to never miss a video. Subscribe to our Zoshi Telegram channel if you want to receive daily updates. Proudly sponsored by the Ministry of Education, Arts and Culture, Namibian Community Trust, UNICEF, My Zone Online School, Amos Meerkat Syllabus, and Capricorn Foundation.